and welcome to another episode of Podleaders. Thank you so much for joining us, and I am thrilled to introduce Helene Millet, our wonderful guest for today. We had the privilege of crossing paths at T2RL a few months ago, and I've followed with much interest Helene on LinkedIn over the last few years, so it's a real pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
And I was thrilled when we first had a lovely conversation a few months ago to run through your career. It's a real thrill to be able to do that today as well with our listeners. So if we jump right into it, how did we get here? How do we start within airlines? What was the starting block, as it were?
Well, the starting block was, well, from scratch, I must say, because I knew nothing about airlines or anything. My academical background is data science, math, and figures and stuff like that. So at one point of my studies, I asked myself, I was looking at many of my friends going to the financial sector. And so I asked myself, well, should I go there and make lots of money and stuff, or maybe I should try to find a vertical that attracts me, that makes me dream, and that's how I ended up working for Air France.
Oh, really good.
Because at that moment of time, that I was not so attractive for people, and all the tech, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult for an airline. It's lots of commercial people. You basically sell tickets, you sell dreams, and so you need to keep all the back, everything which is too technical backstage, because it's kind of it can disrupt the dream somehow. You see what I mean?
You don't want to dull the glamour of it all.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was it. So that was me. I was a text person. So, and I was happy enough that they needed someone like me. So I started. It was kind of surprising, and I told them, "You are an Irish person, a human resource person, right? So you can understand what I'm going to say." And on my first interview with Air France KLM, I told them, "Are you sure you want to send me to uh, your software development department? Because I'm not a developer. I'm really about data and math, and maybe a little bit technical, a little bit too technical." And they say, "Oh yes, we need to have that understood." So, all right. So at the end of it, I had to find, the place to go, because it was a sector that was making me dream, and what I knew what I knew about. So it was the perfect.
That is really lovely. So were you put into development? So you were thrown into development even though you were
Yeah,
data?
it was. The whole story was that it was at that point of time. It was the time when all the airlines were talking about revenue management.
Okay, yeah, how to make money.
So,
Yep.
at that period of time, it was called yield management, even,
Yes.
and so yield management is all about data and forecasting and this kind of stuff. And it was not, my first position was not about developing. It was more about understanding what they had in their code,
Okay.
because they didn't know what it was and the algorithm, and so I was there to be part of a small team to work on that and
Brilliant.
understand what was in there, and then, once you understand, you can teach people what's in there and how to deal with the software, and that was it.
That's so cool. How long were you with Air France in total through?
20 I spent 20 years there, so it's such a big it's a big company, so when and when you I was just fresh from the universities, and so they tend to welcome this kind of people, and then you every 3 years or so you change role, and so you learn a lot about the company itself, and then they know how to use you on different positions.
That's a
So
great way to go about it. I wish more companies did that now, actually. That would be wonderful. So it's really in your blood then. So, you have a real when you go from a graduate and learn so many different areas of the business, it's
yeah,
part of your being, isn't it?
yeah, and somehow you have no cut in between you. Well, it's really smoother because at the same time you are hired and you are also part of a group of
Yeah.
young people who are hired at the same time as you, and so you make friends, and then the friends just spread
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's how I'm doing this, I think. We're all a big family just trying to, find the best moves for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and even now that I'm out of Air France, all the people I know there, they are all around the airline industry. Well, most of them, and so it's also a good way to improve things. And yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So after you finish with Air France, just to do a quick career summary,
Oh
tell us
yeah.
a little bit about what happened after Air France, and then I'd love to find out a little bit about maybe what your favourite part was within those
Yeah,
roles.
we talked about the good sides of big companies, but there
Yeah.
are also bad sides.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
And
yeah.
after a while, especially when uh, I can even say grow up, when you grow up, you know,
Yeah, well, it is a
when
bit,
you
isn't
grow
it?
up, yeah, when you grow up, somehow you have the feeling that when you have an idea, you want to have it implemented.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like talking to 20 people to convince people and to convince people that you had the right idea and so on. So after a while, being with a big company such as Air France, KLM it was at the time,
Yeah, the join.
and then you feel like you need more freedom maybe, and so after a while, well, so after 20 years, I decided to just to go and join a small startup that was just founded by a couple of friends of mine. And what was this startup, you may ask? It was uh, basically the idea was to build a database, so data again, so
Yeah,
all
back to the figures. Yeah.
yeah, all the airline data are in different places, and what is very interesting is to gather in one place all the data for the customer and the activity of the customer, and so on. And so the many use cases that you can cover if you manage to have that platform implemented. So that's what we had in mind when this startup was created. So that was the technical part of the startup, and then there was a second part that was consulting, and so I was in both parts. So
Mm.
defining helping the definition of the product on the one hand, and on the other hand, I was doing consulting because consulting was bringing money
Yeah, of course.
to
Keeping
the
the lights on. Yeah.
development. And that's to be honest, after now that I'm away from this position, I really realized that it's a trap that
Mm.
many startup fall into.
Yeah.
uh, because you have the money from the consulting, and so it means that you have the feeling that you have money, and
Yeah.
but your tool doesn't bring any money, and so you keep on developing, and yeah,
It's tricky. Maybe the startups really have to go through that pain barrier to make
yeah,
sure the product is
uh, uh,
has that revenue side of things.
yeah, exactly. It's a little bit like, in France, when you are out of work, you for a certain period of time you get money because people want, and so that's comfortable
There's
in
some
a way.
support there, yeah.
But on the other hand, you feel like you have this support for a certain period of time, so maybe you are not active enough, and it's exactly the same kind of
Yeah,
situation. You see, so well,
yeah. The startup pain, absolutely, especially when it's like a passion project. It can be really, you really want to make sure it's beautiful rather than getting it out there and really getting the finances running on it. I've heard that a few times, which has been challenging for people. So, I mean, you've had some wonderful roles and continuing to work on some great projects.
yeah.
So,
and
I mean,
then and then COVID, and then COVID.
yes,
And basically, we realized that what I was talking about, getting money from consulting to do the development wasn't working because at
mm,
COVID time the consulting was over, and so the money was over too. So after a while, the startup just collapsed, and
yeah,
so I was out of work,
okay,
and
fine,
so I was out of work, but we get support, like I said, in France, and we also get not only money but also support in the sense that we have people coaching us and so on. That's what I got, and I met a lady several times and so on, and then realized that talking to her that I had quite a wide network,
yeah.
that maybe it was the opportunity to do what I wanted to do, and using my network, using my knowledge, and just doing consulting for myself,
Yeah,
as a self consultant, and
absolutely.
so that's what I did for a while, talking to the different airlines and so on that I knew, but somehow you feel lonely after a while if you if you work
I-
on you
yeah,
must say something about it now. Yeah, well,
working on your own, it's
yeah,
fun.
exactly. Right. Well, that's great because nobody is challenging you.
I know. Well,
I don't know if it's a
yeah,
good thing though, and so I needed the challenge. I needed also the new ideas and the talking and so on. So I had a couple of friends again who had created a consulting group, I would say. And so I decided, well, first to work a little bit with them because they had project I could be part of, and then after a while to join as an associate. So that's what
mm,
I'm doing now.
brilliant, brilliant. So, I guess you could find a few crossroad moments within that within your experience there. I mean, there must be a few different bits and pieces that you would say could have gone different ways. But did you have a particular challenge through that you struggled to navigate? How, or did everything kind of slot together quite nicely?
Uh,
Well, COVID, of course, but
well, maybe too many things, too many.
yeah,
Well, especially if you are here, I can talk about a topic which is close to my heart is the fact that I'm a woman,
no, absolutely.
and I'm quite older than you are. So uh, I remember when I was a student, maybe we were like a couple women and the rest were men. Like, I was 18 maybe, and we were two in the classroom,
So
and there were
outnumbered.
40 boys. And
Yeah,
all right, okay. So, yeah, so sometimes when you talk, you are not listened.
yeah, absolutely. Time will tell. Hmm.
Exactly. And so sometimes it was sometimes it could be difficult to raise my voice and express the idea I had. But well, so this is the first topic that was important for me and still is. Uh,
Mm.
to be a little bit less now that I have my gray hair, and so I have nothing to prove, I guess, and so it makes me more confident somehow.
Absolutely.
But being younger,
It can
maybe.
be a tricky thing to navigate when you don't have the not age, the experience and the knowledge behind you to be able
Yeah,
to hold it.
and
Mm.
that's what I wanted to talk about when I started at Air France, or maybe 2 or 3 years after I started. Um, I was involved with this big project of theirs about they had they had bought an origin and destination revenue management they with Sabre.
Okay, yeah.
It was something totally new. Only American Airlines had that tool, and after a while, we discovered that there was no tool. To be honest,
Oh, right.
it was something that we needed to build.
Fine.
At that point of time, uh, so it was difficult to find people to in the project on Sabre side, on our side also, especially to come to Paris. And so I was involved with that. Uh, so from the beginning, and the interesting thing is that I discovered then that when you show your added value,
Yep.
especially from a technical perspective, then and you show that you can do things that nobody else in the team can do, then it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy, you
Oh,
know. And so that was the a good way to overcome this inferiority feeling that I may have in being a
yeah.
woman, by being able to do something that nobody else could do around the table. So
So maybe the key is differentiation.
I suppose I suppose
As
so.
humans, as opposed to gender.
Yeah,
Just, you know.
exactly. But it was a feeling that I had at the very beginning of my
Mm.
career, because it was somehow so not political at all. I just needed to be myself and being good at what I was doing, and that was it. But little bit when you go upper,
Yeah.
then it's also about politics and being able to talk more, maybe to stay more. I don't know. It depends on the country, but to stay more at the office and so on.
Yeah.
And and then along my career, I had the feeling that it wasn't fair. I, I didn't have the place. It wasn't that easy, because the technical knowledge that I could fight with at the beginning
Yes.
of my career
Yes.
wasn't that important then
Absolutely.
when you move
It's
up.
difficult when there's no seat at the table, and that is a conversation we've had. So I've had endlessly with a number of people. There's certain absolute
Yeah,
initiatives that are going on across the world to make sure that fingers crossed changes. I mean, I'm working with a number of clients at the moment that are working towards encouraging that right from the ground up. Graduate programs, making sure that we've got more
yeah,
graduates, really female graduates, really focusing on the computer sciences of the world and making sure that real data and governance and core tech is covered from a female point of view as well, which is so important.
it is, and somehow it's like. What is difficult also is like, you know that perfectly. It's everything about network also, about networking, about having people who support you without even knowing what you do at that particular moment. You need that support. And being a woman from the tech, I was telling you 40 boys, 2 girls,
Yeah,
then you only have one friend.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
it's also
absolutely.
something that you need to take into account as well.
And that's why our male advocates and supporters are so important as well, to make sure that there is a seat at that table, and making sure that you know
Yeah.
female leadership is so important. I'm speaking with a number of female CEOs that are coming up in the vendor space, and that is super exciting at the moment. I'm loving working with that.
Yeah.
But we need to be held for our skills as humans as well, as we said before, and we're all different and bring different things to the table, and that needs to be recognised as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope
It need to be
with some
the
new hiring
yeah.
techniques that
Mm,
inane unconscious bias is hopefully petering out. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
yeah. Yeah.
So I
I was,
mean,
I
it's
was
such a sorry.
yeah. Sorry, we went away from our career and all the
I
commercial,
know, I know. I was just going.
but
I love it because that's a whole podcast on its own, isn't it? We could wax lyrical about that. So obviously you've worked in a number of different areas within the airline sector, crossing
yeah. Mm,
NDC, PSS, GDS, all of that side of things. I mean, it sounds like
yeah.
things
Yeah.
just naturally moved into that space from working within that data and development side of things. But was there any a point at which you actively chose to work within that kind of GDS or NDC space? Did it naturally move
Well,
that way?
let's go back a little bit backwards.
Yes, yeah.
In terms of the history of my career with the big H. Yeah. I was at one point of time I was on distribution at two levels. The first level was I was they call it account manager or something like that. So
Mm.
I was in direct relationship for the negotiation of the GDS for Air France KLM.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's great, it's nice. So that's
Yeah, it's massive.
and so it those guys they the Amadeus, the Sabre, they have those two hats, one for GDS, one for IT. So when you add up the amount at the end of the day, it's huge. So it's very interesting to be in that position. Mm, and then, uh, but it's when you negotiate, you don't know all the technical difficulties behind. Okay, so I was lucky enough a few years later to be in a position where I could learn about those different topics because I
Mm.
was responsible for the transversal project for distribution at Air France KLM at that time. So if you add
Great.
the account manager position plus this transversal project position, then you have a whole scope. And that's
Absolutely.
why when you come at a consulting position like I'm doing now, you know what a pain it is to pay that much
Uh,
for an airline, but you also know why you pay um, and all the processes those guys have, and maybe how you can discuss to make it better for both. And so yeah, that's how I ended up having added value for airlines for the just by bringing my knowledge to those, and also in addition to that, when I was working at the for the transversal projects for Air France KLM for distribution, I was involved with the first team who created NDC.
Oh wow.
So I was
The
part of
IR
the,
side.
the team. There was somebody from British Airways, somebody from Lufthansa, and we said, yeah, that cannot go on this way
Yeah.
from
That
a financial perspective, from a technical perspective, and so we said, let's do something, and that's how we started. And this is so long ago, I would say, and everything, and maybe we were a little bit too idealistic, and we have this vision in saying, yeah, um, we we how could we do it? And yeah, and we have this, you know, general overview, but
Just did the blueprint. Yeah.
it was theory. And then I was involved with those working groups, being the leader of the implementation group and the implementation.
So like a subject matter expert.
Yes. Well, um, you know, there was a group who was supposed to tell the airline how to
Mm.
implement NDC and how to implement the schemas. And so I was leading this group together
Great.
with somebody from BA. And so yeah, we now it was getting practical, and so
Absolutely.
we were very happy. So we worked and worked and worked, and for like 6 months or maybe 1 year, and then this implementation guide was given to developers, and I remember we were in. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't listen to your podcast, Russia. Uh, and
We do need to be a bit careful.
yes, no, no, no. But I mean, it's important to understand
Yeah,
that
of course.
that from theory to practical situation, then you may have a vision, you may dream of something, and you may be really convinced that something needs to
Yeah.
happen. When it gets to give something to developers,
Yeah.
even if you think that you have been very precise, no way.
No, everything changes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you end up what you think is a standard is not that standard.
I
Standard
know, and that's why communication's so important. Absolutely.
exactly.
Mm.
And also, yeah, understanding the way they work,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
on
yeah.
purpose, you know, and being practical and yeah, and so it's all the whole difference in between theory and
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
and it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you see how long it took
Yeah.
have it implemented for real because maybe at first it was too theoric. It was only theory,
Yeah.
and so you had to see all the difficulties with the travel agents and yeah. And I remember to be honest because uh, we we talk quite freely here.
Mm.
There was another project, very small project. I don't know. Uh, you know all the ancillaries that are sold today.
Yes, all the extra bits.
Uh,
Yeah.
exactly. When you sell them, uh, you need to have a proof that you have sold them. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
test, and it's called an EMD in the industry. All right. And so at one point of time, this didn't exist, and IATA had defined the standard and wanted to develop it, especially for travel agents. So at that time, I was responsible still for transversal project for distribution. And so I was the one leading the project with Amadeus to make sure that the EMD was used by travel agents, and we had a certain number of questions. And I knew that I had my revenue accounting people who wanted to track all the ancillaries and so on. So somehow the question was asked. Mm, Sometimes you may change a ticket and it may have no difference. So are you going to issue an EMD or not? So an EMD with a zero value. I said, I took my theory hat and said, well, yes, we should do that because that's going to be cleaner and everything. Well, all right. And then, so it was implemented this way. And maybe 6 months later, I met with a friend of mine working with TUI
Yeah.
travel agents, and he was saying, "Who is this stupid person who decided to have this develop, to have it develop like that? It doesn't know our project at all, our process at all. That's going to take us a bunch of time. We cannot do." all right, okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
And then,
How
well,
important.
you know what? That was me. I'm sorry. Let's try to see what we can do about it. But what it means is that you may have a nice vision
Yeah.
of theory, but yeah,
When it comes to practical implementation,
yeah,
it's
you need
knowing all the processes.
exact,
Absolutely.
yeah,
There you
and
go. We live
exactly.
and learn. I
But
love, I love, I do love it when that happens though, when you don't know who you're sitting with. It's happened to me several times. It's been very
yeah,
strong
at
conversations.
that point of time, yeah, it's also a position. I could have said, no, no, I don't know about it. All right, but yeah, but it's good that you just, yeah, you just say that, yeah, you did, and how can you solve it? Tell
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. And if you hadn't have sat down and had that conversation, we would have never known and it would have carried on. And actually, feeling the pain and seeing the recovery from that is sometimes well worth it. You know, finding a client's pain and fixing it is wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
why we do it. That's why we consult. That's why we work in what we're doing, which brings me on to kind of the strategic stuff that you're doing at the moment. Um, I mean, you've worked in so many different environments and helped a number of people. How do you think? I mean, it's a perfect example actually of all the things that you've learned have helped you build the success of the consultancy. Is there a particular project that you've done that's helped you really understand how to consult?
well, it's not a particular project, but I would say a whole
Yeah, all of it.
lot of them. Um, since the very beginning, I've worked on a transversal projects,
Mm,
meaning that you had different people from different origins, and even a different vocabulary.
yeah.
And I'm not talking about the language, I'm talking about the vocabulary. Even in French or in English, they they don't call the same thing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you start by you know having like a dictionary and making sure that when you talk about something, you talk about the same thing. And, so yeah, and that's helped me a lot with consultancy in knowing that I need to listen to people and to let, because sometimes you are in a situation where you have an internal conflict, you are not part of it.
Mm,
So what helps a lot with consulting is that you are not part of the company, so you can take a step back and say, okay, those people, they are angry, but they are not angry against you.
no, it's
You are
a
not
situation.
involved, and so let's have them talk and listen to them, and yeah, and say, oh, this guy, oh my gosh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, okay. uh, oh, this guy, he makes me pay so much, I don't want to pay that, that's not worth it. Okay. All right, okay, so let's make a summary now, and see how you can get together and find a solution. And I'm in between. That's what I'm trying to do. It's not somehow, and listening to me talking to you, I realize that it gets less and less technical somehow.
Well,
It's
I
really,
just think within any type of part of technology, whether it be a vendor selling to an airline or a travel company or a travel company itself, you are totally right. You could be saying the same words in the same room and somebody is hearing something completely different. And being able to translate that is like, it's like rocket fuel. It's brilliant. It's just
yeah, yeah,
it's such a
it's
skill, and having that separation is so important.
yeah, indeed, and but I must say, being the go-between is not always very
I
comfortable.
know it's horrid sometimes. I agree.
Well, but it's a mandatory position.
Absolutely, absolutely.
position.
Well, we've been through some wonderful times that you've had and are continuing to have in future consulting projects. Obviously, it's a wonderful industry to work in, and a
Yeah.
lot of our listenership are people that are studying or coming into the industry, which I love and adore. And I've had some feedback that it gives some real confidence that, you know, there's roots through, and the encouragement of what kind of industry that we work in. Have you got any advice for the future people coming into the industry and how to manage it?
I have my own doubt about that. And you know, after COVID, the industry lost lots of
Such a
uh,
shame.
yeah, lots of people, a lot of very knowledgeable people,
Mm.
and on top of that, it seems that young people didn't want to come. It seems that it's not the case still, so we get young people now,
Yeah,
and
it's recovering. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little by little. And what is difficult with this industry is that if you take it on a literal way, you may have, especially in tech, you may have the feeling that it's an industry of no. You say, no, 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 you cannot do that.
Mm.
No, no, no.
Oh, because of the regulations and things. Yeah, I get it.
Well, lots of things, not
Oh,
only regulation. Yes, of course, regulations, but also, you know, all this tech stack that was created like 50 years ago.
yeah. A lot of
And
legacy
so,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I remember we wanted to sell, I don't know, a meal, for instance, on the plane, and people say, "Are you sure you won't be able to do that at the airport?" Okay, and so my advice for young people would be to be convinced that they can simplify, that there are ways to simplify, that they should not be attached too much to detail. That's their chance. That's what they have to. That's why it's so important that those young guys and ladies are there to tell us, but okay, you don't do it this way, but why?
Come and challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, come and
Brilliant.
challenge and yeah, make yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. That is a challenge is really necessary, and
Absolutely.
hopefully they will be listened to
I
us.
absolutely, absolutely. I think there's no other option but to do that. I mean, even in the in the last couple of T2RL conferences and all of the conference. I mean, it's conference season at the moment, but everything that's happening there does seem to be real proactive change towards a more modular approach to technology. Thank goodness, which will bring about some aggressive change. We just need some signatures on contracts and things to actually happen. But fingers crossed, the next generation will have an opportunity to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
that impact too.
yeah, exactly. And I have a second advice, which
Yeah,
is
please go.
uh, listen to the people who are there also.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Don't
mean,
be too
it
arrogant.
needs to be an exchange because we need both. We need
Yeah,
the experiment people and the young people and work together. What works best
absolutely.
is it's a pair.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, learn from some mistakes and make sure that those things aren't repeated.
Exactly. Because otherwise, you know, you I've been several times to those IATA conference, and you have all those young startups and so, oh yeah, we're gonna solve this.
And fix the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the elephant in the room.
Hmm.
Yes, sure, that's great. Please challenge, come and say that. But on the other hand, please listen too. And so we can
Yeah,
build together something which is strong enough.
there has to be a balance. Absolutely. Well, on that note, Helen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute brilliant, 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 brilliant podcast. I've so enjoyed it. I think we've covered some brilliant topics there as well. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll do another one in the future and just hear about how things have been ticking along. I know that you guys are running some really great networking groups as well. So
Oh
I'm
yeah, we
going
did. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Do you want to mention those quickly so we can?
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. Otherwise, I might have some trouble with some people if you see who I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we talked a lot about being a female in this industry,
Yeah,
and so we have created this Ladies Beyond Flying group during
yeah,
COVID, and now we are kind of relaunching it and having a one, I would say, one event per month.
yeah. It's
Where,
brilliant. Some great
where we
speakers.
Yeah, exactly. So we are kind of proud of that.
Oh,
And
surely.
also I co-host with Anne Cedar a weekly chat. We call that a far chat because it's very relaxed, a little bit like we just did there.
Brilliant.
And we have people from the industry coming in and just sharing uh,
Sharing
what
experience.
they what they do and the difficulties and sometimes their success. So it's
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, I know we've got a speaker coming up for the flying. Is a lady from EasyJet, I
yeah,
believe,
exactly. Melissa
Melissa.
was really nice to accept this invite, and that's
Absolutely.
going to be a great chat. I hope.
Yeah.
I'm away, so I won't be able to attend live, but yes, please listen to that.
Oh, it's in my diary. I'm counting down the days. It's really exciting.
Yeah,
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 brilliant.
she's
And Anne is so wonderful as well. So can't recommend those enough. And they're all on LinkedIn. They're accessible on LinkedIn, aren't they?
yeah, exactly, and yeah, and whoever's listening, yeah, if they, yeah, of course, they can be part of the Ladies Beyond Flying group.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you again, Helena. I really, really appreciate it.
Sure.
We'll speak soon.
Speak soon. Bye bye.
Bye.